right? So we automated one test cases here, and we completed our framework, and we added a lot of things in our framework. And I really hope that everyone has at least tried, if even it's not working, that's fine, but at least tried how to take screenshots or actually followed the framework which what I have created. Maybe you could have been a little bit deviated from here and there, which is fine. But more or less you should be adhered to what the framework, adhere to the framework which I am right now creating. Okay. And this is what I want. Otherwise you will be like completely doing something else and I would be doing something else, and then there will be big disconnect, and we don't want that disconnect to happen, right? Otherwise you will be derailed after some time. So we don't want that to happen. So you have to be very clear and very stringent in terms of that you're following the framework, following this framework, at least to the 80% till 80-90%. Next thing, now what we're going to do is we are going to automate more test cases. So I think we have a portal, and I think few of you actually added new test cases as well, if I'm not wrong, because I saw there are few more new test cases in this. Let me go and check that again. Did anyone?
Yes sir, मैंने एक ऐड की थी. Yes sir, मैंने ऐड की थी एक सर्च टेस्ट.
Okay, so okay, so tell me where these test cases are. So I'll go here. Let me review it right away. So you added in search or homepage? Maybe first Poonam. Poonam, where did you add? You don't know? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so yes, Poonam, where did you add that test case? This one, after product search, user should be able to see how many results should be displayed in the relevant product on left hand side on top.
Sir, मैंने add किए हैं.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's good, Pooja. And I encourage everyone to do that, guys. It's only 4 test cases. I want everyone to write some test cases so that I can review it. But still, we'll come to that later. But we will be starting to automate these test cases, right? So I have already completed one test case. I have marked them as automation. That means I have automated this. And what we want is we need to have at least 50 test cases written here. And maybe after end of this month, or maybe within 15 days, 15 to 20 days, we should be automating all of those 50 test cases. So we have now 15 days to complete the 50 test cases automation, which is not a big ask, guys. It's doable. Okay. That is our plan. And while we do that, we will have to learn a lot of things, including frames, pop-ups, tabs, handling, okay, actions class in Selenium, XPaths, all these things we have to learn while doing these test cases, while automating these test cases, right? So be ready, guys. And one more thing, important thing in this is, maybe that I'll talk about later, but now what you have to do before you start automating these test cases, you have to put aside your framework, whatever you were working on, and now you have to take another copy, the current copy, the latest copy of my framework, and now you will automate things on that. So whatever you're working on so far, trying to create a framework, phase is over. Now you're going to put that aside. Aside means you're not going to throw it away. You're going to continue working on it to understand or set up few things on your own. But the new test cases automation is going to happen with the latest copy of my framework. Is that clear with everyone, or anyone has any doubt with it?
Clear, sir.
Clear? Okay. The reason I am saying this is, yeah. Anyone has any problem? Someone said no. Okay. See, the reason I'm saying this is because if you continue to work on the framework which you already have right now, then you will struggle further and you will not be able to automate these test cases, because something is not working, that is not working, report is not generated, log is not there, some error is coming, right? The thing which you're facing currently. So you will struggle with that and you will not be able to complete the automation of these test cases, which is very, very important to understand how Selenium works. Right? So that is the reason I'm saying whatever you have done so far, it's good. You learned something there, put it aside now. Next thing you are going to do is you're going to go to my repository, go to a separate folder, clone the folder. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't try to be James Bond, because right now it's not the time to become one. Okay? You don't think that मैं अपने हाथ से सारा code लिखूंगी. ऐसा नहीं. This is not what you should be thinking now. take it as a case wherein you go to a company, the framework is already there. Now now that is the framework on which you need to automate more test cases. So this is that scenario. Okay, so we have to be ready for both the things. Create framework from scratch, that you already learned. I already explained that. Now second thing is the framework is already there. Now you have to start automating test cases on it. So that is the second phase, is what I'm insisting you guys to work upon, right? So if anyone has any trouble with it, ki nahi, nahi, I want to do with my old framework only, then maybe we can have a talk and I'll try to convince you, because it is important. I hope everyone understands it. Okay, so what we are going to do, I'm going to start automating these test cases. Test case number 2 is what I'm going to do today. Okay, and I'll tell you what needs to be done. Maybe I'll not complete it, but I'll tell you the way how to do it, and then you can start working on it, right? First test case we have already done. We have marked this as automation. Our success of whatever we are doing depends on, then we will have 50 test cases here and all are marked as automation. That is a success. Okay, so that is our target, and that has to be achieved within 15-20 days. And after 15 days, we are going to integrate this pack with Jenkins, right? So Jenkins instance is also I'm trying to create, and I'm going to integrate this with the Jenkins, and Jenkins will then execute it. So that will happen after 10-15 days. Maybe between we also can try doing that, right? But our ultimate goal is, it should be clear to everyone, 50 test cases here, 50 all are marked as automated or automation. Okay, enough said. Now I'll go back to my Eclipse. Now I can start, automating the test case. So I'll tell you how that needs to be done. Even if you are a new person, guys, even if you are new, this is something, a new chapter, right? You can start afresh because you don't have to worry about what's left. As I said, everyone will have to download the latest copy of the framework. Once you download the latest copy, import that into your Eclipse and start automating the test case. How to start automating a test case, that I'm already telling now. So even if you're new, you can start doing this with ease, I guess. Okay, so let me close everything. So let's assume, and maybe what I'll do is, right now, see, I'm on master, so I'm going to create a new branch here because I don't want to mess existing one, or maybe for now let it be for the sake of time. So see, guys, this was search.feature, and now my new test case is user is able to see all the required elements in the header section of landing page, right? This is my test case. If I go inside this, it is saying user is able to all the required elements in the header section on the landing page. So this test case is, I guess, this is a duplicate test case, it seems. All test case. So navigate to URL, check headers has links like, so these two test cases are actually duplicate. I will have to remove this test case. So I'm going to work on test case number 3, navigate to URL and check headers has links like hamburger menu, cart, prime, accounts and list, etc, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to amazon.in, and what I have to check in this test case is that the header section, which is this section, has all the relevant links. So maybe I'll check. Now you see these 3 buttons. This is called as hamburger menu. Hamburger menu has this feature that is hidden. If you click on it, it will gives you a menu like this, and then there will be corresponding, subsequent menus after that. So we will be automating this also, but maybe for now, to keep things simple, we will be automating the third test case, not second, the third test case. And that third test case is that I'm going to validate all the links here. So I will be checking this link is coming, this link is coming, this link is coming, this link is coming, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming, right? So what I have to do, I have to start adding all these in my page object model file, because for headers, I don't have a page object model file here anywhere. Search common page. So common is, I think I can use it because I think all this will go inside common page objects. I can actually use this, and I'm going to add these objects here. So I'm telling you how to do it from scratch again. Let me collapse everything. So you're going to create a new feature file called as homepage.feature. Let me delete it. Maybe I'll tell you how you're going to do that. Come on. Delete. So what I'll do is, maybe the easiest way to do is either you right click in here and you do a new, and you do a file, and you write here homepage.feature, and you select the right folder. Okay, and you just click on, someone else joined, you just click on finish. As soon as you do that, and if you have the plugin installed with you, okay, so this template automatically gets generated if you have a plugin installed with your Eclipse. So if you have it, then you will see something like this. We all don't need all this. This is a comment portion, so you can keep to choose like author and all, but I don't want it, so I'll just remove it. I will give it a tag as UI because, as in explained in the last video, I am tagging my feature files based on whether it's an UI or it's an API, right? So this I explained in the last video, right? So I'm marking it as UI, and it's running super slow. Wait, and then I don't need these for now. For example, I don't know what's happening with Eclipse right now. It's running very slow. Wait, maybe I don't need this much. I will write here, title of the feature is home page validations. I don't need this additional description, so I'll just remove it. Come on, it's causing a lot of drag today somehow. This is not expected out of a Mac, but okay. It needs a restart, it seems, but anyway. Okay, so now here I will write the scenario name that I want to validate headers. Validate header links. Header links. And now in the given part, I can actually make use of the existing features which I have, steps which I have. So first and foremost, I will have to, of course, browser has to be opened, a URL has to be navigated. So I will kind of make use of the same step here. So I'll go back here, and that's how, see that guys, that's how we reuse the steps which I have already present. So this step I'm reusing. Second is when, so given I have browser and open, a URL is navigated. And here I don't have to have any when, so I can just directly write then. Given is this then, below links, or I can just say header links are displayed. Okay, now there are two ways to do this. One way is this, second I'll talk about later. But first way is that I'm not mentioning what links. I'm just mentioning in the feature file, header links are displayed, and what header links should be displayed, that I'll do inside the code. Okay, another way of doing this is, so I'll make a copy of this to explain that. Another way, now this is a Cucumber feature I'm telling you, so try to pay attention. This is a new thing which most of you would see. So validate header links, I'm just writing in another way. So this is then below header links are displayed, right? And when I say below header links are displayed, then I have to mention what header links are displayed. So I can just write something like this. I can say hamburger menu is displayed. So I'll simply write here hamburger menu, whatever you used to call it. Then Amazon.in Prime logo, right? Amazon Prime, or you can just write Prime logo. Then what else? Then you can write everything here, cart link, your Prime link, right? Your accounts and list link, accounts and list link. So we will, for now, we'll keep it only 3. That this is what we need to validate, right? So there are 2 ways to do it. One is this, second is this. Which one do you think is better? Anyone can want to answer it. Which one do you think is better? Anyone? Do you think this is the right way to do it? That all these things we are going to do inside this particular step, or this is better?
Second one.
Okay, second one. Why? Why do you think second one is better?
वहाँ पे values भी provide कर सकते हैं ना.
Yeah, but that we could have also done inside then मतलब जो यहाँ validate हो रहा है, that we can also do inside it. But yeah, you got essentially the USP of feature file is that this is how we can tell people what we are doing exactly, right? Why this is better is because in Cucumber, this is the feature file and this should be readable and anyone can read it and can just by reading it, they can get to know what exactly is being verified, right? So below header links are displayed, they can say, okay, hamburger menu is being validated. We can also give a space. It's not that we don't have to. So this is becomes readable. Ultimate goal is to make it readable, right? So they will say, okay, these links are to be validated. Accounts and list link is displayed. Amazon Prime link is displayed. So this approach is, in my opinion, better. Okay. I think it was intuitive on what is better. So we will not, let's say we'll not do this. We will only focus on this. So I will just remove this and I'll remove this another way from here. Okay. Now the problem is I have a single statement, which is this one step is present here, but I don't have a definition for this. That's why it's coming in blue, sorry, yellow. Now next step is I want to execute this feature file so that it can generate the step definition file for this. How to do it? You have to go to runner file, and in runner file you have to go to, either you can configure this run test, but let's not touch run test because run test we have kept essentially for so that we can execute it via Maven, right? And we can, I think in the last class we discussed that in the POM file we had these profiles. So if we do run API, it is tags API. If we do run UI, it is tags UI, right? So this executes when this you run it via Maven, it actually executes run test, right? So we should not be bothering this. That's why I've created multiple runner files so that all the temporary stuff you want to run it from Eclipse and all, you make use of these. If you want to do it from Maven, which is the actual thing which gets executed via Jenkins. So this is what actually gets executed later. But these files can be used for temporary purposes. So I'm going to make use of this, and since here it's already UI, and how I'm going to do that is I go to search, because I only want to execute this. I don't want to bother about the search, right? So I can either tag it with like T, like test, okay, or I can just mention the name of the feature file also there. So instead of this tagging, I'll go back, and guys, ask question if you think something is not going in your head. So I can directly write here homepage.feature. So it will just run homepage.feature. And then I will just right click here, run as JUnit test. I think there are a few people like I think Akshay and Ashlesha, you guys will be, I don't know, new to this perhaps. So see guys, this is the way you do it. Just follow the steps, okay? And you will be good to do. So see, steps are generated. I'll just make it bigger. So it is saying it tried to execute it, but it couldn't find the missing steps. So this is the step which it has given me, right? And you will see something peculiar here. The people who have already understand Cucumber, you will see something different here this time, and it is saying something. I'll try to explain that. So I'll copy this. So once it generates the steps for you, you will have to go back to the step definitions and UI. This is search step definitions. Sorry? Anyone wants to say something? Oh, okay, got it. This is by mistake. So I'll create another feature file. I'll write here separate class. I'll say homepage step defs finish, and in the homepage step defs I'm going to put this method here like this, right? So now I'll try to explain what is this step definition. So see, if you notice guys, in the feature file I have something written here, right? Now these are called as, you can understand it as an arguments. Now this is the information I want to pass to my code from a feature file, and I have written this beneath a step here, and all this information which I'm passing from here can actually go inside my step definition and can take a specific form. The generic form is data table. So data table is you can understand it as an object. This is given to you by Cucumber, and you can use it to fetch that data, right? But having said that, this is not our most desired way of doing it. So if you see the code which is written here, the comment section, you will see. Write code here that turns the phrase about into concrete actions for automatic transformation. Now this is important. For automatic transformation, change data table to one of the structures like this. Okay. So by this, what Cucumber is trying to tell you is, you have to understand what this is, what kind of data you want to send. If this is a single layered, then it's the array list. If it is two, then it is a map. If it is in a different format, like a lot of things are there, understand this as a complete table, for example, right? If complete table is there, so you can understand that is like we have Akash, Sumit, Amit, and then you have, let's say, marks, right? Let's say you have sorry, this is name, and then you have subjects, physics, chemistry, maths. Let me properly do it for the sake of explaining this. Right, so let's say you want to send this data inside. Okay, you want to say 4, 5, 6. Right, so let's say this is like two-dimensional data which you want to send. So for this, maybe you have to decide what kind of data structure is good for it. So that possibility is also with you. Right, you can do all these things. You can do a list of list of list, list of map, or map of list. You see, map of list. So different combinations are possible, and it will be automatically transformed. If you don't want to use it, if you're not very sure what can be sent, then data table is sufficient. Then later in that data table, you can have different methods which you can basically make use of to perform or find this, convert this data. So this is you can convert this using as list, as maps, all the feature it will give you. But if you want to do an automatic transaction, automatic transformation, then what you should be doing is you need to know what kind of data you are expecting. So let's say I'll remove this. I don't want it anymore. Let's say I'm sending this. So what do you think I should be using it here? What kind of data structure I should be using for this? Anyone? Guys, speak please. It motivates me.
List, sir.
Yeah, correct. List. So because see, this is a single dimension, right? 0, 1, 2. So this is a best case scenario. In good case, we will always use list for this because a single dimension thing. There's no associated key with this data. It's just single piece, single elements of different strings, right? So what we'll do here, we will, instead of writing data table here. So either there are two ways. Either you could have done like something like data table dot as list, and this will be converted to a list, or you can, instead of doing this extra step, you just directly write here list of strings. And this is the reason I explained in the last class about this list and maps. If you remember, I recorded a video on this collections and all, how to make use of it, because this is what we're going to use moving forward a lot. A list and maps, and list of list, and list of maps, and maps of list, these all combinations. So this is a list, simple list is what I'll say here, list util, and then I will just remove this line because I don't need it. And now inside this list, I have everything. So I have this list with me here, and then I can start writing my switch cases. So let me start writing it. Switch. Now you may wonder why I'm writing switches, but you will understand it in a minute. Switch list dot get, or maybe if I don't want you to be confused, so let me tell you the other part first, then we'll implement the switch case. So once we get this hamburger and all, so maybe I'll just put a small condition here instead of switch. So I'll write if list dot, or this dot contains, if this contains what? Hamburger menu. If this contains a hamburger menu here, then validate hamburger menu. Okay. Now the real step is, I am just validating that if I am sending from outside hamburger menu text, that means I am instructing my step below header link step to validate the hamburger menu, right? To validate it, what I have to do? I will have to go back to my browser. I will have to find out what kind of object is this. So I will have to go and do an inspect, and I will just go here and I will see what kind of ID it has or what kind of properties it has, and I can clearly find out ID is nav hamburger menu, right? So next step which I'm going to do is I'm going to put this object, because if you have seen any of my videos about page object models, so we are using page object model here, and page object model is what we're keeping inside page object packages, and common page object is what I've created to store objects which are common everywhere. And when I say common, that means it is no matter on what page you go, the header section will still remain. So these are common objects, and these kind of objects we are going to put inside common page objects. All right, so I'll go here and I will create a variable here, private by hamburger menu link. I'll write here by dot id, and this should be equal to. Okay, so once I add it here, then I also need to have a corresponding method for it, right? So this will have many methods. One method is I would have to click on it, but right now I don't have to click on it. I have to validate whether it's present there, right? So what I'll do, I'll write here public void validate hamburger menu exists or is displayed. Okay, and what I'll do, I will just write here 1 minute, someone is trying to join. So see, there are multiple ways of doing it. Simplest of the simplest ways, I'll just write if condition. If the element, not this element, this element simply driver dot find elements, driver dot find, why it's not coming? Okay,
driver.
it's actually get driver dot, because get driver is what we are making use of interact class, right? Interact class is how we are going to get the driver access, right? So it's a get driver dot find element hamburger menu link dot is displayed. Okay, if you do this, this will return you a boolean, and it's a B, and you will simply write assert dot assert equals okay. What happened? Someone is breathing over the microphone, is it? Let me mute everyone. Okay, assert dot, what's happening? Come on. Assert equals B. Expected is B is actual and expected is true. Okay, don't worry about this cross marks. We will resolve it later. It means deprecated, but we have to use right library, so that we'll talk about. But this is how you're going to do it. Now this is one way of doing it, but if you remember, we are not using find element etc anywhere, right? We have to make use of interact class. So this demands that inside interact class we should have a method called as is displayed, right? Validate is displayed, and that is what we are supposed to be using. So what I'll do, I'll extend this. I will add another method here. So this is how basically framework enhancements happens while you are automating things. So I'll write this one, maybe I'll write here like this. So I will say public string get validate element is displayed. I'll send the by here, and maybe I don't need this to be waiting for it. Then this is my by So this is driver dot find element. Find element. Now this is my by, then is displayed, and this will be my boolean b. Okay, and I think that is it, and I'm returning a b from here. B, this will be a boolean. Okay guys, let me just make it better. So this is element is displayed. Status perhaps something like this. Now this is the element, this is the method I'm going to use inside here. So instead of writing this get driver find elements, I'm going to simply write this, and this will actually return me whether the element is present there or element is not present there. Something like this. Now this is my test case. Now I am not doing some raw rough code. I am using all the features of the framework, and if that feature is not available with the framework, I am enhancing it, and that is also something which you should be doing. So the similar step I have to do for all of the objects which is present here. So same step I have to do for all. So I will go here. I will go here. I will kind of nav logo link. I will do exactly the same here. Let me just quickly do it like this, navigation logo, and I will just put something like this. These kind of test cases are very common, guys, in companies, because you sometimes need to validate a lot of things. So this is not something which I'm just telling you, because you might feel it's a simple, but it is necessary. It's simple, but I understand why it's necessary. Then I'll write validate navigation logo, or maybe Amazon logo. Amazon logo, and the same method is what I'm going to use here as well. So I'm going to write something like this here. Okay, and how I'm going to make use of it, I will go to my homepage step devs basically, and actually I will have to copy these steps here, because these steps will be available everywhere. You must have heard this or seen this where in your dependency injection video. You can go back there and understand what this is. And this is what I'm going to do. Test context dot get common page objects dot validate validate hamburger menu is displayed, and then if Amazon menu is there, Amazon logo is there, then I'm going to do next validation. Validate element is Amazon logo. This. Guys, meeting is going to get over very, very soon. So I'm going to send a new link for further discussion. It's not going to be more than 15 minutes, the next session. So please join. Let me summarize what we need to do. Thanks.